Hey everyone, Mr. Armitage here, and today we are talking about parallel lines and transversals, Chapter 3, Section 2. Okay. Over here on the right, we have our standard diagram of two parallel lines. I'll mark these parallel lines like this. Those lines are parallel, and a transversal cutting through them. Okay. You might think of this as paths of people walking, if you want to. Okay, so we have a couple of theorems that are based off of this. Okay. So we'll start off, all of these theorems start off the same way. Okay. If two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, notice we are using the conditional statement, then we're going to have a couple of theorems, 4 to be exact. The first one, if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then pairs of corresponding angles are congruent. Corresponding. Okay. Now remember, corresponding angles are angles that share the same position. So in this particular case, that would be like angle 2 and angle 6. For example, okay, there are 4 pairs of corresponding angles in any situation that looks exactly like this. But just for this example, it's just 2 and 6. This is called the corresponding angle theorem, by the way, if you couldn't guess. Okay. Second up, if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then 2 pairs of alternate interior angles are congruent. Okay. This is, unsurprisingly, called the alternate interior angles theorem. So alternate interior means that an angle is, well, the pair of angles are on opposite sides of the transversal on the inside, the interior of the parallel lines, between the two parallel lines. So as I was showing, that's like angle 4 and angle 5. Okay. It's also angle 3 and angle 6, and those are the only 2 pairs of angles. After that, we have the alternate exterior angle theorem, which you might guess says that pairs of alternate exterior angles are congruent. Now, alternate exterior angles are just like alternate interior angles, except now they are on the outside of the parallel lines, like 1 and 2 and 8 and 7. Those are exterior angles. Now, alternate exterior angles would be like angles 2 and angle 7. Those are alternate exterior angles. This way, they are congruent. which you can kind of see from the graph anyways. Also, you might be able to tell that this is a theorem because you already know that vertical angles are congruent, such as angles 2 and angle 3, and angle 6 and angle 7 are congruent. And we already know that pairs of corresponding angles are congruent, so angle 2 and angle 6. Therefore, by one of our other properties that we know of, transitive property, angle 2 is congruent to angle 7. The last theorem for this will be that if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then pairs of consecutive interior angles are supplementary. Consecutive. Supplementary. Now, we know that supplementary means that they add up to 180. So in this particular case, sorry, I meant to say consecutive interior angles. There we go. Okay. So this particular case, that's like angle 4 and angle 3. Okay. Because angle 4 and angle 3, and also angle 6 and angle 5, as you can see on my entire screen, I'll zoom out a bit. Angle 6 and angle 5 are on the interior. Whoops, I made a little mistake. This is not angle 4 and angle 3. This is supposed to be angle 3 and angle 5. Consecutive meaning that as we basically go top to bottom, they follow one another. So angle 3 and angle 5 are consecutive and supplementary. Of course, we know angle 3 and angle 4 are supplementary and add up to 180. They're on a straight line. The theorem, the good part, is that angle 3 and angle 5 are supplementary, and angle 4 and angle 6 are supplementary as well. We can now use this information to find missing angles. In this particular case, we can solve for x. Now, the relationship between these two angles may not seem immediately evident. However, these two angles are vertical, okay? 115 and angle 4. They are vertical angles, which means that angle 4 is also 115 degrees. And here's the good part. Angle 4 and this bit here, x plus 5 degrees, those angles are consecutive interior angles. Consecutive interior. Which means by our consecutive interior angle theorem, we know that those two angles are supplementary. So they will add up to 180 degrees. We can have x plus 5 plus 115 equals 180. Now you could put degrees on this, it doesn't matter too much at the moment. And we can go about solving this a myriad of ways. I am personally going to get rid of the parentheses because they are not needed, which leaves me with this. X plus 5 plus 115 equals 180. Now I can combine like terms. I can combine the 5 and 115, giving me, that warrants purple, 120, then 80. Now using our subtraction property of equality, we subtract 120 from both sides of the equal sign, leaving us finally with x equals 60. All right, with that, you are likely ready to practice several of these on your own. So here are two problems for you to try and see how you do. First one, given that the measure of angle 1 is 105 degrees, so this right here is angle 1, find the measure of angle 4, the measure of angle 5, and the measure of angle 8. Tell which theorem you use in each case. Is it corresponding angles? Is it alternate interior angles? Is it alternate exterior angles? Or is it consecutive interior angle? Or is it something else? Second one, given that the measure of angle 3 here is 68 degrees and the measure of angle 8 is 2x plus 4 degrees, this is completely separate from number 1. The angle measurements are not the same as number 1. What is the value of x? Show your steps. Pause here, work out these problems, see how you do in a second. Okay, for number 1, I'm just going to give the answers, speaking them. The measure of angle 4 is also going to be 105 degrees because angle 1 and angle 4 are vertical angles, so the vertical angle postulate. Angle 5 is also going to be 105 degrees because angle 4 and angle 5 are alternate interior angles. Now, angle 8, we could say is also 105 degrees because it is a vertical angle with angle 5. However, we can also say that it is an alternate exterior angle with angle 1. Either way works. And for number 2, your value of x should be 54. Right, that is all for these notes. You may start your assignment, parallel lines and transversals, same name as these notes. And I hope you have a wonderful day.